This is a video showing what it is like going up to the dollar store, starting at Elm, going up Buchanan in a manual wheelchair. As you're watching this, please keep in mind that 1 in 4 people in America are disabled. As I begin crossing, you may notice the cracks in the road, and while they're not an issue for those who are able-bodied, those of us in wheelchairs have issues from them, as our wheels can get caught and in severe cases even stuck on the larger cracks, which is dangerous for us due to oncoming traffic. The ramp that I am about to go up is one where we need to have it extended into a sidewalk. Because it does not go into a sidewalk and instead goes directly into rocks, it not only makes it difficult for us to turn, but can actually cause us to block other pedestrians from getting up onto the sidewalk. Here, I had to take a moment and rest before continuing on. As I carried on up Buchanan, I had to slow down as I approached the sloped entrance to the parking lot, as the bushes at the corner not only make it difficult for me to see oncoming cars, but difficult for traffic to see me due to the bushes being a similar height as me in my wheelchair. The sidewalk does not continue up into the parking lot here, and so I'm forced to go into the road with the cars. The slope is very steep, so it's difficult to go up. So steep, in fact, that if I do not lean forward enough, my front wheels will come off the ground for a moment. And you can see my cameraman reached out because he was worried that I might tip over. But typically, I'm alone, so if I do tip over, I wouldn't have anyone to catch me. You can see that it's a struggle for me to get up here. But this is actually one of the fastest times I've ever had in making it up this, just because the amount of practice I've had. But faster doesn't mean it was easier. It was still very painful for me. Here, I finally reach the accessible parking stripes, and am ready to get up onto the sidewalk and out of the road. But I find myself unable to, because there is no longer any ramp, just the markings of a ramp that once was, and the accessible stripes that are no longer valid here. I have to stay in the road as I rest. As I continue on, I have to roll out into traffic in order to keep going. I have to stay close to the parked cars so moving vehicles can get past, but I'm at risk of being hit by any of the cars backing up that can't see me due to the height of me in my wheelchair, which I've had several near misses with before. It's very scary. Think of when people in my position have to do this at night. The road is uneven and is a bit wavy. It's not really something you can tell when walking, but becomes very apparent when in a wheelchair, as it's very hard to push yourself. But it wouldn't be any problem at all if there was a ramp that would allow us to go on the sidewalk rather than having to stay at risk in the middle of the road. Finally, I've once again reached the accessible parking stripes. These ones actually leading up to the first ramp on this side of the parking lot, all the way up here in front of Toto's restaurant, allowing me to get up onto the sidewalk and off of the road. Now, the difficulties are not quite over yet. Before I can get up to the dollar store, I have to go up one more ramp, and while it doesn't look very steep, it actually is. Once again, I have to struggle to not tip over backwards in my wheelchair due to how steep the ramp is. The fact that it is this difficult to get up the ramp and that I could so easily tip over shows that it's not truly accessible and needs to be fixed so that it can actually be accessible to everyone. Finally, I've arrived. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and remember, nothing about us without us.